Okay. I think it wasn't in, aha, that's why. Today is the second day of the month of Elul. And that means we are basically unofficially in the penitential season. So the official term of the high holidays is Rosh Hashanah to Simchat Torah. The unofficial term of the high holidays actually starts with Elul or Selichot, depending on how you do it, and runs for almost 2 months. Today, we start saying Psalm 27, the Psalm for the penitential season, which we will do after the Mourner's Kaddish tonight. So at this point in time, in our time, we start thinking about ways we can be better. As we go through the high holidays, we see ways that we have not been good. We have a whole laundry list of things to consider, whether we've done them or not. And we have things to think about, to consider, to specifically focus, this being the 7th month of the year, on how we can do better. Okay, so there are some dire warnings in Judaism, in places in our liturgy, in our literature. For example, in a week or so, we're going to come upon the second telling of what's called the Tochacha, translated as the warning. And in it, there's a few verses where it says, if you do what you're supposed to do, i.e., you follow the covenant and look at fulfilling the commandments. I don't like the word obey. Judaism to me is not a religion of obeyance. It's a religion of, it's not even a religion. It's a way of life. I mean, there were no religions back then. It's just a way to perceive God, to perceive the one creator of the universe and do God's will, because God knows best. And if you do God's will, if you shape your behavior according to God's will, then you're in tune with the universe. And if you're in tune with the universe, theoretically and ideally anyway, good things will happen. So people, us human beings being frail and guilt-ridden, think that when bad things happen to us, we've done something wrong. But is that really the case? I know that in the second paragraph of the Shema, where it talks about the group obligation to fulfill commandments, like put signs upon the doorposts and teach your children well, it's very black and white. Tochacha. If you do good, if you do the commandments, then good things will happen. The rain will come in its proper season. The ground will yield produce. Enemies will run from you. 5 of you will chase 1,000. Remember that phrase? Then it goes on at length of what will happen if you don't. And it goes on at length because, okay, first you'll start to not fulfill some of the commandments, and then you'll start to fulfill more commandments, and then all of a sudden you're no longer being a practicing Jew, and the world will cave in on you. And some people think when they have crises in life and the world is caving in on them, it's because they've done something wrong. Not necessarily. And if that is the case, if you've taken the wrong steps in certain things, which we all do because we're not perfect. God didn't create us perfect. Why? What fun would that be? What fun would that be to go through life in the Garden of Eden, just sitting around eating grapes all day? Not fun at all. Because we humans like it when we achieve. It gives us an endorphin rush. Somebody once told me she took a course in organization. And when she said that when you make a list of things to do and you start doing those things and checking them off, every time you check something off, you get this endorphin rush, this runner's, right? So that's what life's all about. So if bad things are happening to you, should you examine your actions? Yes. Should you beat yourself up for them? No, that's not Judaism. You don't burn in some crazy place that other people called hell if you mess up a few times. That's not what we believe. The whole idea of the high holidays is to get another chance. is to look back on what you did and correct it. That's the whole idea of growth. It's better than being punished forever for something you did. So we don't beat ourselves up for it. Or maybe we do. I mean, Hashamru, by God knew. Why are we beating the chest? We're doing it we're kind of flagellating ourselves. We are. That's the traditional reason. You know, of course, today they say, no, you're opening your heart. You're beating your heart open. Okay, however you want to look at it. But the point is, you're waking yourself up. And you're doing better. But you don't beat yourself up. That's not Judaism. You know, if you put your left shoe on instead of your right shoe first, you don't go out and get hit by a car. That's not how it works. Sometimes in the Talmud, one of my favorite parts of the Talmud, I even know where it is, Berachot, the first tractate, 5a, 5b. Why do bad things happen to good people? Because sometimes you need a kick in the butt to do the right thing. I've used the term a person gets a heart attack. They work, they don't pay attention to their family, they drive themselves crazy, they eat fast food, bam, they're in the hospital. Doctor comes to them, says, okay, you got two choices. You can keep going the way you go and die pretty soon, or you can change your life and live a happy, productive life. Well, person changes his or her life. They start working out. They start eating better food. They're happier, they're healthier. It took a bad situation to compel them to do the right thing. People in business, maybe they believe, unlike we do, buyer beware, right? There's a sucker born every minute, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And next thing you know, their business is going downhill because nobody wants to do business with them anymore because they're a cheat. Maybe they get an epiphany one day and they turn around and say, maybe I should change their ways. They go back to their customers, say, you know, I've really I've been a bad person. I see the error in my ways. If you stay with me, I'll start giving you 20% discounts. All of a sudden, their business is thriving. So maybe they had to reach rock bottom. That's what 12-step calls. You have to hit rock bottom before you can turn around and make a change. And we don't beat ourselves up in the process. We see it as a revelation. It had to happen to compel us to change. That's part of what the high holidays are all about. Hopefully, we do all this, we read all this, the Yashamnu and the Al-Khates and the Avinu Malkeinu. We do that so we don't have to get to that point. We can wake ourselves up without having to hit bare bottom. So as we go into the high holidays, let's think of it as a positive move. Let's think of Yom Kippur not on, gosh, what time is it? Can I eat? Where's the breakfast? Jacob's in the kitchen, man. It's driving me crazy. Let's think of it as, what an accomplishment, health depending, of course, that I can go 26 hours without eating or drinking. I'm pretty tough. I'm pretty strong. I can resist temptation. I can do it. I can be a better person this year. I can achieve better things. I can help my community. And in the process, I can elevate myself and my spirit. So that's how we go. That's how we should think about going into the high holidays. And we will start even though Elul is the beginning where we recite the penitential psalm, we will be doing Selichot the evening of September 5th. Yes, it's during Labor Day. And yes, it's on a Saturday night, 7:15. But we'll have a nice little service. We'll have some refreshments. And we'll do some talking. And it'll be a nice start. We'll do our best to make this a memorable high holidays for you. To the next year. The 5787.